Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills, lived a kind prince. He was beloved by his people. The prince was handsome and brave. He was also very eligible. His mother, the queen, wished for him to find a bride. The queen was aging. She wanted to see her son happily married before she passed on the crown. The prince loved his mother dearly. He understood her wish. He agreed to meet princesses from far and wide. He hoped to find a love like his parents had. He wanted a true partner. He wanted someone to share his life with. He just hadn't met the right person yet. The queen announced a grand ball. She invited all the eligible princesses in the land. The castle bustled with preparations. Seamstresses sewed beautiful banners. Gardeners arranged fragrant flowers. Cooks baked delicious treats. Everyone in the kingdom was excited. They wanted the prince to find his true love. The night of the ball arrived. The prince anxiously awaited his guests. He hoped to feel a spark. He wanted to find someone special. He knew his mother was watching. He didn't want to disappoint her, but he also knew he couldn't force love. He had to follow his heart. Princesses came from distant kingdoms. They arrived in carriages of gold and silver. Some princesses were beautiful. Some princesses were talented. They all wanted to marry the prince. One princess had a voice like an angel. She sang a beautiful song. Another princess was a skilled dancer. She moved with grace and elegance. A third princess was incredibly intelligent. She could solve the most difficult riddles. The prince tried to be interested. He danced with each princess. He listened to their stories. He even attempted to solve riddles. But none of them felt like the right fit. He felt a responsibility to his kingdom. He also wanted to make his mother happy. However, the prince couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. He yearned for a connection. He wanted a princess who saw him. He didn't want someone who was just impressed by his title. The night wore on. The prince grew more and more disheartened. His mother, the queen, noticed his disappointment. She pulled him aside. She told him not to worry. She reminded him that true love takes time. The queen reassured her son. She told him she only wanted him to be happy. The prince felt a renewed sense of hope. He decided to follow his heart. One evening, a fierce storm raged outside the castle walls. Thunder shook the ground. Lightning flashed across the sky. The wind howled like a hungry wolf. The prince sat by the fire. He was reading a book. He was lost in thought. Suddenly, there was a knock at the castle door. The prince was surprised. No one dared to travel in such a storm. He went to answer the door himself. When he opened the door, he saw a young woman standing in the pouring rain. She was drenched. She was shivering. But she had a kind smile. The woman explained that she was a princess. She claimed to be from a distant land. She said her village was hidden by moonlight. The prince was intrigued. He had never heard of such a place. He invited her inside. He offered her dry clothes and a warm meal. The princess was grateful. She told the prince her story. She explained that she had traveled for many days. She said she had heard tales of the prince's kindness. She hoped he could help her. Her village was suffering from a terrible drought. She needed help. The prince listened intently. He was moved by her tale. He was impressed by her bravery. He promised to help her. He ordered his servants to prepare a guest room for her. The queen was skeptical of the young woman's story. She had seen many princesses come and go. She suspected this girl might be an imposter. She decided to test her. The queen believed a true princess would possess a certain sensitivity. She devised a plan. The queen ordered her servants to prepare a special bed for the guest. They piled 20 mattresses on top of each other. At the very bottom, between the 20th mattress and the bed frame, the queen placed a tiny bean. That night, the young woman retired to her room. She thanked the prince for his hospitality. She was exhausted from her journey. She climbed into the towering bed. The queen waited outside the guest room. She listened intently. She hoped to hear the young woman complain about the uncomfortable bed. She believed only a true princess would be bothered by such a small discomfort.